coming up on Retirement Solutions Television.
The first thing that I want to look at is what other sources of savings do you have for retirement? Do you have any 401ks or IRAs or 403bs? We call it the alphabet soup here at Boss Retirement Solutions. It's all those different retirement accounts. And we look at those and we can actually create a plan for you. We want to be able to create freedom for you in retirement. You've got a terrorist event that happens over in Europe. It affects the markets within 20 minutes a lot of times. There's a lot of different scenarios, whether it's trade, whether it's interest rates in other countries, you name it, that have created a lot more volatility more recently in the market than 20, 30 years ago. At Boss Retirement Solutions, we can help you design a legacy that's going to help fulfill your goals of what you want to do, not only now, but for many generations to come.
And now your hosts of Retirement Solutions Television, the Retirement Brothers, Tyson and Ryan Thacker.
Hello and welcome to Retirement Solutions Television. My name is Ryan Thacker, along with my brother Tyson Thacker, and we are the Retirement Brothers. We've got 30 minutes worth of action-packed education ready for you. Let's get started.
Hi, and welcome to this week's AskBossRetirement.com, where you send your questions in to us and we answer them here on the show. How are we doing, Ryan?
Great, Mark. Good to be here.
Awesome to have you. My first question is from Barbara in Provo, and she writes, Ryan, I'm living on my Social Security check, and I want to know when it's okay to take money from my retirement accounts.
That is a great question. And what we look at is when you are looking at your Social Security, what we want to know first is how much of your lifestyle is being paid for Social Security. For the average person out there, it's about a third of their retirement income is going to be covered by Social Security. So the first thing that I want to look at is what other sources of savings do you have for retirement? Do you have any 401ks or IRAs or 403bs? We call it the alphabet soup here at Boss Retirement Solutions. It's all those different retirement accounts. And we look at those and we can actually create a plan for you, Barbara, because what we want is we want to be able to create freedom for you in retirement. Retirement, I'm sure Barbara didn't plan on working all of those years and then suddenly say, I'm going to scrimp and save more because I have to get through retirement. We want to help you be able to live with freedom and live with confidence. And the way that we do that is we look at your lifestyle and we say, Barbara, how much are you spending every month? We match up all the different reliable income streams. If you don't have enough reliable income streams, we can actually create those for you. And then we can create a plan for the other investments and make those safe, build in an inflation plan for you, and be able to help you do the things that you want to during retirement.
And Ryan, there are only like 3 or 4 different ways that you can take Social Security, right?
That's a good question. There's literally hundreds of combinations of how and when you can take Social Security. The fact, Barbara, that you've already taken Social Security tells me that there may not be a whole lot that we can do with that. If you've been receiving Social Security for 12 months or less, we can actually go back, have you back pay that Social Security and maybe create some strategies for you. But I get a sense from this email that you've been taking that for a while. That's great. What we can do is look at all the other accounts and say, how do we make this the best secure and independent retirement for you?
Great. Ryan, my next question is from Bob in Salt Lake, and this is a short one, but this is a big question. At what point do I no longer need life insurance?
Oh, Bob, this is a good question. There's never been anyone who's passed away and said, I wanted less life insurance, right? And so what we look at is it does come a time when you are self-insured. And what I mean by that is the kids are out of the house is paid off, there's not any other debt, and it may be something that you say, hey, I'm coming up on the end of this life insurance and the cost to renew this term if you're on term insurance is going to be so expensive, this doesn't make sense. But a mistake that we see, Bob, and this is why it would be important for you to come into the office, just sit down with me or someone on our team to be able to evaluate your current situation. For example, one of the mistakes that people do all the time, Mark, is they cancel their life insurance that's permanent life insurance. And this is an asset that's very, very valuable. And so we want to make sure that we have an informed decision to help guide you to know exactly what's going to be the best option. And Bob, come in and sit down with us, because those life insurance assets, very, very valuable. It comes through on a tax-free basis to your beneficiaries, and we want to make sure that we don't make a mistake.
So in some cases, Ryan, I could cancel a policy where it might have cash value.
Yes.
Right? And I've made a big mistake there.
Yeah, I mean, one of the mistakes, there's two mistakes. Number one is you lose the death benefit. Number two is you could have a taxable event on that life insurance, and many families are not aware of that. And so if you had put in, say, $100,000 into that policy and it's now worth $250,000, you could have a taxable event of $150,000 simply by thinking, oh, that's a good place to get some money, but now I lost the death benefit, plus I created a taxable event. Not a good scenario. That's why it's important to come in and have an expert look at it and give you a customized approach.
Ryan, thanks so much. If you'd like to have your question answered here on the show, real easy to do. Just go to askbossretirement.com, type in that question, and hey, we might answer it here on the show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You're watching Retirement Solutions Television, Utah's Retirement TV.
Life, a series of moments. A touch, a look, a laugh. Successful people. It might not be superior imagination. It just might be superior retirement planning. Imagine what's next. Plan today, own tomorrow.
Call Boss Retirement Solutions, 801-610-1234.
Having no clear retirement plan is a mistake I see a lot in my financial planning office when I meet someone for the first time. It is extremely rare that someone comes in and has a clearly defined income plan for his or her retirement. One way you'll be able to get a clearly defined retirement income plan is to talk to an independent financial advisor who specializes in retirement planning. Not someone who specializes in getting you to retirement, but someone who is dedicated getting you through retirement. If you don't have a clear retirement plan, then be one of the first 5 callers and you'll receive a free complimentary planning review. There's no obligation and no cost if you have at least $200,000 saved for retirement. Here's what you'll receive: a free report to sort through your current advisor costs, a tailored plan to guard your investments, tax analysis to reduce your tax liability and increase your cash flow, and a customized income plan to boost your retirement. Plus, you'll receive a budget assessment to help you manage your cash flow. So call now for your free, no obligation financial review.
You're watching Retirement Solutions Television, Utah's Retirement TV.
Today, Ryan, we want to talk about a common misconception out there in the financial services world. It has to do with annuities and how annuities work. A question just recently came in that we answered, and we thought we probably ought to bring it to the show. A client said to us, I have an annuity, and what I understand about that annuity is when I die, all the money goes to the annuity company. In other words, my spouse no longer gets any of that money. Is that true?
Yeah, that's a good question, and the answer to that is it depends. It depends on what type of annuity it is. There's good and bad annuities out there, as we talk about all the time on this show. But here's what you need to do. You need to look at the contract terms in that annuity. The misconception is in all of the new annuities, oftentimes they have different names. They're called a hybrid annuity or an indexed annuity. These annuities give you the option to have your cake and eat it too. In other words, what I mean by that is in most cases, if you have an income annuity, so it's producing an income, that income is based off of a husband and wife that's a joint annuity. If one of the spouses dies, the first thing we have to look at is what happens to the income. That income, and if it's set up correctly as a joint payout, will just continue on to the surviving spouse and will continue to make that payment.
So the concept I like to use a lot in this scenario is I like to say, if you had a Cadillac from 30 years ago, it was cherry back then, but it may be outdated now. If you have a Cadillac now with all the new bells and whistles, then you're going to have different ways of making that Cadillac run and hum.
Yep.
And it's the same with annuities in general. There's a lot of different ways that annuities can work, and in most cases, if you've got a hybrid annuity, that money does continue on, as you mentioned.
Well, and let's say that both of you die. Let's say that you've been receiving the income stream for 2 years and then you die in a car accident. What happens to the rest of the money? I think this is the heart of the question of what the viewers really wanting to know. If you've been taking income stream for 2 years and it's in one of the newer contracts, most likely what will be happening is the remaining value of that annuity does not go to the insurance company. It goes and passes on to the beneficiaries. Now, as we talk about this, of course, every individual situation is unique and different. We can't address the specifics of this contract because we don't have the contract in front of us. But really what you want to know is, what are the terms going to be for you individually?
So to clarify, let's just walk through a family situation. Let's say a husband and wife has an annuity. The husband and the wife have income that have been turned on for 2 years. Then the husband passes. The wife could continue, if they did it as a joint annuitant, the wife could continue to receive an annuity payment. Then let's say that she dies a few years later and there's still $200,000 sitting in that contract.
That's the money that goes to the family and passes on to the beneficiaries. So if you're in that situation and you're wondering about an annuity contract that you have, maybe you've had it for a few years, if you just have some questions about it, we would love to give you an annuity review that we can take a look at that individual contract, look at the terms for you, and help you determine what this means for you in your situation. In fact, we have a service that we do where we actually call the company, and we'll go through and ask individual questions to help make sure that you have the most information. I think one of the dangers is when you have an annuity contract that's a few years old, you may not remember all of the details. Have an expert take a look at that contract for you so that they can ask the right questions. We go through, it's about 25 questions that we ask on every contract when we talk with the company.
But then you don't have to take our word for it. It's something that you can hear directly from the company, but we know the questions to ask so that you can get the answers that you need.
So at Boss Retirement Solutions, this is about helping you wring every nickel out of every aspect of your retirement plan. If you would like to have more information about a specific question that we talked about in today's show, visit our website or give us a call at the office.
You're watching Retirement Solutions Television, Utah's Retirement TV.
Remember when life was simpler? When things didn't move quite so fast and the world didn't seem so complex? Remember that? We do. And as the world around us has continued to speed up, becoming more complicated and still a bit uncertain, we have managed to keep things simple, providing sound, easy-to-understand financial advice and customized roadmaps for the road ahead, from tax reduction strategies, investment advice, and guaranteed retirement income you cannot outlive, backed by the claims-paying ability of insurance companies. We can be your single point of contact, a single call, a voice you recognize well, and a partner who can be by your side for the entire journey. We can't stop the world around us, but we can help ensure you're prepared for what's to come. To schedule a no-obligation meeting, simply contact us today.
Having no clear retirement plan is a mistake I see a lot in my financial planning office when I meet with someone new. It is extremely rare that someone comes in and has a clearly defined income plan for his or her retirement. One way you will be able to get a clearly defined retirement income plan is to talk to an independent financial advisor who specializes in retirement planning. Not someone who is specialized in getting you to retirement, but someone who is dedicated to getting you through retirement. If you don't have a clear retirement plan, then be one of the first 5 callers and you will receive a free complimentary planning review. There is no obligation and no cost if you have at least $200,000 saved for retirement. Here's what you will receive: a free report to sort through your current advisor costs, a tailored plan to guard your investments, tax analysis to reduce liability and increase cash flow, and a custom income plan to boost retirement. Plus, you'll receive a budget assessment to help manage your cash flow. So call now for your free, no-obligation financial review.
You're watching Retirement Solutions Television, Utah's Retirement TV.